The goal of this video is to give a detailed understanding of what's available and provide you with a perspective of over a decade of experience. You can buy armor, a helmet, plus the SSG 08 for $1,700. As eco buys go, you can get a whole package for the same price as buying an AK-47. As a weapon, it's a one-shot headshot kill, and my favorite weapon to eco with. The strategy of quick scoping and hip firing for close to medium range engagements are some of the best features available on the SSG 08. The sniper scope it possesses allows you to see across any map, making long-range engagements very viable, especially when considering the movement speed of 230 units per second, which for context is very fast for a scoped weapon. A general guideline used for the vast majority of stickers is to pay no more than 12% sticker price. Otherwise, you are overpaying. If the sticker costs a tremendous amount, I wouldn't recommend paying more than 5% sticker price. When considering float values, remember it is only visible from a 000 to a 999. Anything higher or lower isn't discernible, meaning you can't see a visual difference. Desire versus cost effectiveness is a challenge that plagues most players on a limited budget. The great news is you learn as you go and discover what works best for you and why. As you can see, this SSG 08 Rapid Transit has 2x Eternal Fire Hollows and glitters from Antwerp 2022. They are applied in custom locations on the scope. I hope this provides you with a greater understanding of how the new custom placement can be better utilized. I am now going to go through all the SSG 08 skins in order of rarity. The Sand Dune. The fact that this is from the baggage collection boggles me. Truly the embodiment of a meme. Tan lovers rejoice. The Jungle Dashed, trade filler exemplified. Spray paint pattern, green, yellow, brown speckling throughout. The thick angled marks add another dimension. The Legend Dashed. The same skin as before, but this time with blood speckling. Here, the angled marks are found in varying shades, even more trade-up filler exemplified. The Blue Spruce, sleek design, streamlined in presentation, old school minty aesthetic, nice contrast in colors on the scope. The most used drop skin, very clean and a low wear. The Prey, trade-up filler exemplified yet again. Brown tiger-like stripes with some brown speckling, hints of red is the only saving grace. The Redstone, if they didn't add the tan on the scope, this would have been great. So for me personally, the only way that I'd enjoy this skin is in a high wear. The Mayan Dreams, fire serpent aesthetic with brown clouds. There appears to be a maze underneath the clouds, but why did they make it brown? Perhaps they got lost in it. Imagine this design with blue or white. It could have been amazing. Tropical Storm, pastel blue, hints of green, and palm tree leaves throughout. 1,000 different patterns, feels like a fun tropical experience. This skin on a new model looks extremely unique. Azure Glyph, copper Egyptian hieroglyphs with copper highlights. The wooden primary construction contrasts very nicely with the blue azure stone. If you look closely, the hieroglyphs are describing a flood warning. It makes an interesting motif. The carbon fiber, the embodiment of carbon fiber, 21st century basket weaving at its finest. The halftone whorl, greenish rainbow hydrographic, very interesting pattern, reminds me of a physical US bill, but very zoomed in. Purple to green to blue fingerprint type vibes. Though the colors are muted, they mesh well together. The Orange Filigree, it's a 1800s wallpaper. The orange detailing with a reddish brown background is drab, especially with the flat brown scope. Had they left it a default scope and continued the design, I think it would have had some finesse. The Spring Twilly, shades of green geometric design, a really unique pattern with a white scope. It's extremely clean and relatively cheap. The Darkwater, once again it's slaughter but silver. The float is capped, so the lowest float you can get is in min wear. Interesting note is you can get a Lenny face on the main body if you specifically get the pattern of 230. The Necropos, ancient artifact uncovered. I feel like I'm an archaeologist. Green symbols on the main body that pop. Bone texture on the barrel all the way to the bolt is a nice contrast. One of my favorite skins. The handbrake looks very dated. Blue and white design reminds me of a private school uniform. It even has the school crest on the main body. Not my cup of tea. The slashed dark gray with orange slashes throughout. Interesting pattern on the scope in a low wear. Great contrast in a very understated way. The mainframe minimalist aesthetic with an illustration of a massive mainframe. It has very clean colors, cyan detailing throughout, with understated purple as its secondary colors. The disaster, silver with cube designs with a complexity logo above the handle, and red highlights. On the new model, you can apply stickers on the scope. I personally used some heroic foils from Stockholm. I think it looks wonderful in a low float. The threat detected, bright orange with cyan highlights. It even has a white scope that pops out from the rest of the design. 1,000 different patterns, all of them quite unique, with a wonderful color scheme and a futuristic pattern-based skin. The Abyss, nice contrast of blue against the charcoal gray. This makes it look great from factory new all the way to battle scarred. The only thing the wear does is it twists the color. It's a very excellent example of how you should do custom wear. The Detour doodles throughout with a white predominant body. The black arrows pointing towards the front barrel is a very clean and elegant design. It looks like the gun is trying to help you figure out where to shoot. The Zeno, it says its name on the main body as well as the buttstock. There are red squares contrasting against gray squares in the background. Blue highlights with a glittery main body. The bolts of lightning add another dimension. Too shiny for me. The Acid Fade. With a wide variety of fade patterns, this particular looks really good in a low wear. The neon green scope is in fact always that color no matter which pattern you get. In tandem with the fact that it's on the new model, lends to a wonderful trade-up skin. The Sea Calico, pale yellowish scope with a yellow flower pattern contrasting with the darkish bluish green main body. The detailing is realistic on the flowers and vines, is way too expensive for the price. However, that's to be expected from this trade-up filler. The Deadhead, brown design, orange highlights, tan and brown secondary colors. The colors don't mesh, and the placement is off. I'm personally not a fan. The Ghost Crusader with a white futuristic aesthetic. The colors contrast quite nicely with tiny details strategically placed throughout. And they recently upgraded the body to be really shiny. It's a very interesting alternative. Even in a high wear, it looks really good. The Parallax, glitched out 3D aesthetic offset with a white and black. It has a zebra finish, interesting and nuanced symbols showing the highest possible kill reward across the main body. It's a very interesting skin, but personally it's not my cup of tea. The Fever Dream, very out there, with interesting normal maps on the barrel of the gun, a cyan and magenta graffiti throughout, with writing that's in white and black. The colors are great. I'm a huge fan. The Rapid Transit, my favorite new alternative that I'm currently running. You should be able to find your way easily to enjoy this skin. It reminds me of the New York subway aesthetic. The normal maps are phenomenal, both on the barrel and bolt receiver. Extremely clean and a wonderful addition. The Deathstrike, very nuanced with a scorpion on the main body. It looks like it's ready to attack. It has normal mapping on the interior bolt and is extremely detailed. The illustrations and normal maps are so subtle. The Bloodshot, what you would see on a bad trip. The bolt is an eyeball of a monster and there are red flames. The focus is on the main body where the monster's teeth and tongue are. In a high wear, I think it looks even better. In this particular, I have a craft where the monster is eating a sticker. Because it's a mouse sticker, I thought it was pretty funny. The Big Iron, the futuristic construction aesthetic reminds me of a yellow spaceship. The yellow color changes are subtle and work well with the contrasting color. The Turbo Peak, bright neon pink that leads to a purple secondary color. There are cars drifting throughout with a vibrant aesthetic. The different angles to the two cars make it appear that the cars are in motion. Normal maps that give texture to the skin that highlight the 08 on the main body as well as the SSG on the buttstock. With the bolt looking like a manual car shifter, it looks like every time you shoot the gun, you're changing gears, which is very fitting. The blood in the water. A shark with a white background chasing blood. Sparkle's worst nightmare exemplified. The bad outcome of a trade up. Old school covert. Looks like a PNG to me. The Dragonfire. A dragon breathing fire. Very detailed design. My only gripe is that the flame doesn't extend to the very end of the barrel. Either way, the contrasting colors are a nice choice. I will list my top selections and why I chose them. It is up to you to decide, given all the information and examples, which one is the best for you. Don't doubt yourself and remember your budget should be a part of the equation. My top 6 picks. The $3 pick. For me, on the old model has to be the Deathstrike. It's so nuanced and detailed, it's just so elegant. The $3 pick for the new model for me had to be the Tropical Storm. It's one of the most unique new models on an old skin. The nostalgic pick on the old model for me had to be the Detour. It has so much history and I think is still one of the cleanest scouts available. My nostalgic pick for the new model has to be the Acid Fade. I have so many memories using this as trade up filler, I just had to pick it. The budget pick on the old model has to be the Abyss. I think the nuance and detail to this pattern is so immense. It is a S tier skin for sure. I'm a huge fan of it. The budget pick on the new model for me has to be the Rapid Transit. It's so clean and the normal maps are so nuanced. I couldn't pick anything else. Thanks for taking the time to watch the entire video and hit the subscribe button for the rest of the series. Videos will be coming out weekly. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.